Okay, today we are going to learn about multiplying binomials. So I do not have my pen on. So binomials by trinomials and trinomials by trinomials. So this is going to be similar to what we learned before. It's going to be a lot of distributing. I'm going to show you guys how to rewrite it so it's a little bit easier than just distributing since we don't have monomials anymore. So there's not really any notes for this one, so let's just go to our first example. So here's our first example. So the way this is going to work is we're going to distribute both of the terms from the first one to all three of these terms. So the way I like to do it is I like to rewrite it as 7n, which I took from there, and then multiply it by that second trinomial, or the second polynomial. Then we're going to take the negative 5n and put it here, or negative 5, there's no n. And then we're going to copy that polynomial again. Oops. Minus 8n plus 1. So all I did was separated out this polynomial here and move things down. I'm going to highlight it a little bit so you guys can see a little better. So that went there. And the negative 5 went there. And then this polynomial, you have to repeat it twice. You have to rewrite it twice because, like I said, we're distributing. And if I had to draw the arrows that we do with distributing, what you gotta do is you gotta distribute by everything inside. And then you gotta do the same thing with this one, right? So rewriting it out like this is the same thing as drawing those arrows. And I will show you guys in the next one. We won't rewrite it out. We'll just distribute, and I'll show you guys that way works too. You're free to use whichever way works for you. So now that I rewrote it, we're going to just distribute our 7n to everything inside the parentheses. So we got 7n times 7n squared. So multiply your coefficients. You're going to get 49. And when you multiply these, remember you add your exponent cubed, right? Okay, then we have 7n times negative 8n. Remember, carry that down with it. So that's going to be a negative 56 n squared. Remember, we are adding our exponents. Okay, then the last one is 7n times 1. So we're just going to add a 7n at the end. So now we've finished this first part. We're going to go on to the second one. So we got to distribute our negative 5 to all three terms, just like we just did. So our first one, we have negative 5 times 7n squared. So again, multiply your coefficients. So we got a negative 35. There's no n's on the first one, so the n squared just moves along with it. Then we have negative 5 times negative 8n, which is going to give us a positive 40n. And lastly, negative 5 times 1, which is just a negative 5. Now we are not done because we do have like terms that we need to simplify. So we have two terms with n squared and two terms with just n. And the last two don't have any like terms, so we're going to just leave them where they're at. So our final answer will be 49n cubed. We got a negative 56 minus 35, which is going to give us a negative 91n 7n squared. Remember, the variable just moves along. The variable and the exponent just move along with it. Then we have 7n plus 40n, so that's going to be plus a 47n. And then just tack that -5 on the end. There's our final answer. Remember, when you guys are typing this in to the Google form, to type it in the correct format or it's not going to count it correct. So this would be typed out as 49n caret, 3 in parentheses, minus 91n caret 2 in parentheses, plus 47n minus 5. No spaces. I've been seeing some spaces in some people's Google Forms and it's gonna count it wrong, right? Okay, so there's our answer. Let's do the next one. This one's very similar. Instead of rewriting it out like I did in the last one, I'm going to show you guys the other way to do it, which is to just take these, draw the arrows, and distribute. We're going to distribute the first term to everything in the second polynomial, and then distribute the second term to everything in the second polynomial. So, 6 arrows, right? So we do the first one, we got 5v times 3v squared, multiply the coefficients, you get 15. Then v times v squared is going to be v to the third, right? So you add the exponents, that's the word I'm looking for. Then we have 5v times negative 3v. So multiply the coefficients, get negative 15. Multiplies the v's, you get v squared. Add those exponents. Lastly, we have 5v times 1, so you're just going to add a 5v on the end. Okay, next one. Now we're going to deal with our second terms. We got negative 7 times 3v squared. So we got negative 21v squared. Negative 7 times negative 3v. So it's going to be a positive 21v. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. Now, if you guys like the way I did the previous example where I rewrote it out with each term in front of that second polynomial, that's totally fine. You can do it that way. I'm just showing those that don't like that one a different way to do it. Okay, now we're going to go in and do our like terms. So we got 2v squared and 2v, 2 terms with v. So we're going to have a 15v cubed. We got negative 15 minus 21v, negative 15v squared minus 21v squared. So that's going to be a negative 36v squared. We have 5v plus 21v, which is going to be a 26v. Negative 7 just goes on the end. To write this in Google Forms, you do 15v caret 3 minus 36v caret 2. Don't forget those parentheses. Oh, I forgot a plus sign. There should be a plus sign there. Plus 26v minus 7. There you go. There's your final answer. Okay, let's do the next example. So this one's a little bit different as we have 2 trinomials, right? So I'm going to do it like we did the first way in that first example and rewrite it. So take the first term of our first polynomial, multiply it by the second polynomial, take the second term of that first polynomial, multiply it by the entire second polynomial, and then you take the third term and multiply by the entire second polynomial. When you get more terms inside your polynomial, it's a little bit easier to write it out this way to make sure you're not missing anything. Okay, let's distribute this first one. So we are going to get 16 x to the fourth plus 16 x cubed, oops, plus 14 x squared. The next one, we're going to get 32 x cubed. Forgot to draw my arrows. Okay. Multiplied by this is the second one, we get plus 32x squared. The last one is 28x. Then we're going to have plus 16x squared plus 16x plus 14. Okay, now I got to go in and add all of our like terms. So we got 2x cubes. Looks like we got 3 with x squared, and then 2 with just x. And then the first and the last one don't have any like terms, so they stay. We just are going to rewrite them. Oh. Okay, so first we're going to do our greens. So we got 16 plus 32, which is 48. And the x cubed just stays. And then we have 14 plus 32, which is 46. Plus 16 more is gonna give us 62 x squared. And then we're gonna add our purples. We got 28 plus 16, which is gonna be 44x. And then the 14 just stays at the end. There's our answer. Okay, to write this in Google Forms, you're gonna have 16 x caret 4 plus 48 x caret 3 in parentheses plus 62 x caret 2 in parentheses plus 44 x plus 14. Okay, let's look at our last example. So I'm going to rewrite this one again because I think it's a little bit easier with two trinomials. If you'd rather do the arrows like I did in the second example, that's fine too. So we're going to take our first term, multiply it by the second polynomial. Take our second term and multiply it by the second polynomial. Then take our last term and multiply it by that second polynomial. Okay, and then we distribute. Okay, so we're going to have a 16 n to the fourth. And then we got, it's going to be a negative 2n cubed plus a negative 10n squared. So that was the first one, so we're done with that one. Now we're going to move on to the next one. This one's going to be 8n cubed plus a negative n squared plus a negative 5n. On to our last one. We're going to have a negative 56n squared plus 7n, that's a plus sign, sorry, and then plus 35. Excuse me. Now let's highlight our like terms. We got 2 that have n cubed, 3 with n squared, and then again 2 with just n. And then the first and the last one, no like terms, they stay where they're at. So we have a 16 n to the fourth. So we have -2 n to the third plus 8. So it's going to be a positive 6 n to the third. So we have -10 minus -10 n squared minus n squared. So it's going to be -11 minus another 56. So we're going to have negative. I think I messed something up. Okay, give me a second. Let me make sure we got everything right. Yes. Okay, we're good. I just did something wrong in my head. Yep. Okay, -10 plus -1 plus -56. That is going to be a -67 n squared. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what happened. Okay, on to the next one. So then we got our n's. So we got -5n plus 7. So plus 2n, and then the 35 just stays on the end. That is our final answer. So to write this in Google Forms, we got 16n caret 4 in parentheses plus 6n caret 3 in parentheses minus 67n caret 2 in parentheses plus 2n plus 35. No spaces. Okay. That is our last example for this section. So please do the quizzes, do the extra practice if you need. The daily assessment quiz I'd like you to have done by the next class period. In quotes, class period, yeah. You guys know what I mean. Okay, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Mr. Oker, I will be on Zoom every day at those time periods that are listed in the syllabus. Have a good day, guys.